God is holy. And the wonderful thing about that holiness is that it could be touched through Jesus Christ. God becomes tangible through the Son, Jesus Christ. Do we really know Jesus? Or we think we know Him? Has the teachings of 2,000 years of Christianity still maintained the clarity of the message of Jesus? Or has it been dimmed, not only by the teachings after Him, but also the teachings that went before Him? Yan po ang sisikapin nating madagdagan ng ating pagkaunawa. The love of Jesus could be touched. Napakatagal na ang Diyos ay iniiwasan ng mga tao, lalo sa Israel, natatakot sila, parang dapat may distansya, but this God could be touched through Jesus the Son. Salamat Ama dahil kayo ay Diyos na malapit at hindi malayo. Turuan niyo kaming unawain ito at unawain ang ibig sabihin that Jesus is the way to you, that Jesus is the way through which we can know you more. Enlighten us, Father. Enable us to see what must be seen. Forgive our sins and speak to us powerfully in ways that can be operationalized in our daily lives. Teach us, Lord, with a simple message. In the name of Jesus, your Son, through whom we touch you, Father, we pray with thanksgiving. Amen. The life of the Jewish people were governed first and foremost by the 10 commandments for a long time. And then by 613 mitzvot or lesser laws that nevertheless were obeyed diligently by the people. These laws governed their daily living. Nearly every detail of their life was governed by these laws. And Jesus' attitude towards the law is that Jesus reaffirms the law. Malaki ang issue kung wawasakin ba niya, babaliktarin ba niya, babaliwalain ba ang mga kautusan? Pero ang sabi niya sa Matthew 5:17 to 18, "Don't suppose that I came to do away with the law and the prophets. I did not come to do away with them, but to give them their full meaning. Heaven and earth may disappear, but I promise you that not even a period or a comma will ever disappear from the law. Everything written in it must happen." So sinabi ng Panginoon, hindi niya binabaliwala ang kautusan, sa katunayan ay lalo niya itong idinidiin. Kaya lang, may kaya lang, bibigyan niya ang kautusan ng kanilang buong kahulugan, their full meaning. Of course, it is implied that the people of Israel have not grasped the full meaning of the law. And if it's not full, maybe it's half full, or maybe it's fully empty. But Jesus would make the people realize the full meaning of the law. That the law might be understood, interpreted, and applied in its fullness. Not in its half fullness, not in its emptiness, kundi sa kanyang fullness. But Jesus redefines, reinterprets, and reapplies all religious laws and teachings. Yes, bibigyan niya ng buong kahulugan na nangangahulugan, hindi itatrato yung law before the way it had always been treated. Merong improvement ng pag-intindi at lalo naman improvement ng pag-apply. Matthew 22:35 to 40, one of them was an expert in the Jewish law. So he tried to test Jesus by asking, "Teacher, what is the most important commandment of the law?" Jesus answered, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and most important commandment. The second most important commandment is like this one, and it is, love others as much as you love yourself. All the law of Moses and the books of the prophets are based on these two commandments." So huwag na daw magpakalito sa 10 commandments at 613 other commandments. Kuhanin na lamang yung essence, yung espiritu, yung kaluluwa ng mga ito, at dalawa lang pala. Love God and love others as you love yourself. Indeed, if you're going to study the 10 commandments, the The first few commandments were all about man's relationship with God. And then the second part is man's relationship with one another, with other people. So yung detalye nakakalito. Pero sabi niya, huwag kayong malito, ang pinakamahalagang utos ay umibig. Umibig sa Diyos at umibig sa kapwa. Bakit kaya ito idiniin? Kasi sa kasusunod ng mga Israelites sa mga utos, naging hindi na sila maibigin, nabaligtad. Naging masusungit, naging mahihigpit, naging mga self-righteous, judgmental, madali kang ma-reject, madali kang ma-echepwera, babatuhin ka hanggang mamatay. Hindi sila nangingimi na pumitil ng buhay dahil sinusunod nila yung batas. Nabaligtad. Yung batas pala pinairal para ka maging maibigin, para mag-ibigan ng mga tao, magkaroon ng kaayusan, pero naging baligtad at hanggang ngayon ginagamit ng ibang mga tao yung mga verses sa Bible para tungtungan ng kanilang mga galit, ng kanilang mga muhi sa kapwa at ng kanilang paninira sa kapwa dahil sinasabi nila, sabi ito ng verse. But Jesus says actually, the commandments are about love God and love your fellow man. This is what the law and the prophets are all about. How does Jesus actualize and demonstrate this love from before and above the law? Parang mahirap maintindihan yung sinasabi niya eh. Kasi it's in the realm of thought. Ideya lang. Love God, love your fellow man, and as you love yourself. Paano yun? Eh, ang dami-dami kong mga batas na dapat sundin. Mark 5:25 to 26. In the crowd was a woman who had been bleeding for 12 years. She had gone to many doctors and they had not done anything except cause her a lot of pain. She had paid them all the money she had, but instead of getting better, she got only worse. Isa pang walang kamatayang kwento, ang kwento ng babaeng dinudugo. You know that in every home, when there's a lady in the house, all the other people, even the men, would know that its menstrual period is a difficult time. More difficult for others. Merong mga nagkakram sa mga stomachs, merong mga masama talaga ang pakiramdam. Iba-iba ang nararamdaman. Paano pa kung 12 years kang dinudugo? Ito ang kwento ng babae. At dito natin makikita kung anong ibig sabihin ni Lord na the law and the prophets are just about loving, love, and you will be well on your way to obeying all these commandments. So, merong babaeng dinudugo. Ang dami na niyang pinuntahang doktor, naubos na pera, lalo lang siyang lumala at nasaktan. So, anong gagawin niya? This woman was suffering physically, but she was also suffering emotionally and spiritually. Under the religious system of Israel, a woman who is bleeding is considered unclean. And if you are unclean for 12 years, all the more that they have reasons to condemn you. Para hindi na maawa. She lived in a time and place when being a woman carried with it what could be a lifelong stigma. Ito lang naman, kamakailan lang naman nagkakaroon ng human rights ang mga lahat ng human beings. Hindi pa nga kompleto. Lalo na nung panahon na ito ni Jesus, ang mga babae walang human rights. Segunda klase ang pagtingin sa kanila. At ang tawag pa pagka sila ay dinudugo, unclean. It is associated with shame and there is a lot of isolation. Of course, the priests were not perfect then, as many priests are not perfect now. Their knowledge was imperfect. As Paul would say, our knowledge is imperfect, our prophecy is imperfect. Kaya pati yung mga notions nila about menstruation, many of them were wrong. Para bang kasalanan mo kasi yan, kasi babae ka, kaya ka nagme-menstruate, because they were not knowledgeable on the science of menstruation and reproductive health, as many priests today tragically are. Even the so-called wisdom and knowledge of ancient priests were ancient, incomplete, mostly superstitious and incorrect. Hindi lahat na sinasabi ng mga religious leaders ay tama because they too are human and they too are bound by the consciousness and the level of knowledge and awareness in their time. At dahil sa pinagsama-samang mga ganon, mababa ang pagtingin nila sa isang babae na dinudugo. Now, the ancient Jewish priests, of all priests in human civilization, feared blood almost the most. They had an aversion to blood. Allergic na allergic ang mga religious people sa Israel sa blood. So ano mga katuroan nila tungkol sa blood? Leviticus 15, 19 to 32. When a woman has her regular flow of blood, the impurity of her monthly period will last 7 days. And anyone who touches her will be unclean till evening. Anything she lies on during her period will be unclean. And anything she sits on will be unclean. Anyone who touches her bed will be unclean. They must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. So a lot of uncleanness is associated with menstruation. So hindi mo pwedeng hipuin ang babaeng dinudugo. Hindi mo rin pwedeng hipuin o upuan ang inupuan niya, lalo hindi ka dapat humiga sa hinigaan niya. Kaya yung mga taong hanggang ngayon nagpipilit sundin lahat ng ipinagbabawal sa Leviticus. Aba, pag sumakay ka sa bus, i-check mo muna kung yung babaeng nanggaling sa upuan, na uupuan mo ay may period. Dahil unclean yun. Lahat ng silya, lahat ng lugar, sa mga clinic, sa lahat ng naghihintay ka, mga movie houses, teatro. Paano kung dinudugo yung babaeng upo doon, di unclean ka? Hindi pinipili lang yung ini-implement. Dahil ito talaga ay pinagbabawal to nung araw. So menstruation made women the target of disdain, of discomfort, and to top all that, of cruel laws. Every month, till menopause. Kita niyo kung paano na-disadvantage yung mga babae? Lalo na kung 12 years. Sasabihin pa sa'yo ng mga relihiyoso, siguro makasalanan ka, kaya parusayan ng Diyos sa'yo. Hanggang ngayon, I receive fantastic questions like that at Facebook. May sakit po ang nanay ko dahil kaya sa mga kasalanan niya. So, ganun ang Diyos pikon na inis sa'yo, bibigyan ka sakit. Kung minsan yung mga kamanghamanghang kasinungalingan na ating pinaniniwalaan tungkol sa Diyos, is very bad press for God. Nagmumukha ang Diyos na malupit, magagalitin, mapaghiganti. Samantalang bunga lang naman yun ng ating maling scholarship. Katulad nito, minamasama nila na yung babae merong menstruation. Mark 5, 27 to 28. Ano ang gagawin ng babaeng ito? Sa bagay, alam na rin naman natin. Kunwari, di nyo pa alam. The woman had heard about Jesus, so she came up behind him in the crowd and barely touched his clothes. She said to herself, if I can just touch his clothes, I will get well. Ang paniniwala niya, pag nahipo niya, damit man lang ni Jesus, siya ay gagaling. So the woman breaks the law to find healing, comfort, and wholeness. Dahil sa kasusunod niya sa law na yon, hindi naman siya gumaling. So ngayon, lalabas siya sa box ng tradisyon, lalabas siya sa box ng mga ipinagbabawal ng kanilang mga religious leaders, dahil naroon si Jesus at nabalitaan niyang maraming humihipo sa kanyang naggagalingan. Because the love of God could be touched through Jesus. Remember, simply sitting where a bleeding woman sat was forbidden. So, the woman tries not to break the law too much. Konti lang, sa dulo lang ng damit siya humawak. Pero humawak pa rin. Nangahas, pero hindi masyadong pangahas. Mark 5, 29 to 30. As soon as she touched them, her bleeding stopped. And she knew she was well. At that moment, Jesus felt power go out from him. He turned to the crowd and asked, who touched my clothes? Very cinematic. Madrama. Pagkahipo niya sa damit, sa laylayan ng damit ni Jesus, tumigil ang kanyang pagdudugo. At naramdaman niya, siyempre siya may katawan. Nararamdaman man niya, pagka nga may menstruation ka, bigla kang natawa, alam mo rin, ay biglang maraming na-discharge, di ba? So, naramdaman din niya, pag napahatching ka, etc., etc. So ngayon, naramdaman niyang tumigil. As soon as the woman connected with Jesus, her breathing stopped. Ang daming layers ng meaning nito, from the literal to the metaphorical, kung saan kayo dadalhin ng inyong pangunawa. But this is what should happen when people really get connected with Jesus in faith, that healing should happen, be it emotional, spiritual, or physical. But there are hindrances and barriers in touching Jesus, mostly religious. Religious laws and regulations, traditions, dogma. The woman knew she got well, you can tell, but Jesus asked who touched him. Power had gone out of him, naramdaman din yan. Dalawa lang sila na nakaramdam na may nangyayari. Yung iba, clueless. Do you get connected with Jesus as to draw power from Him to you? Do you get to connect with Jesus as to draw enough power from Him to heal you? Yun ang talagang nararanasan dapat ang may pananalig at kumokonekta. May nararamdamang nagaganap. May paggaling na natutupad. Of course, Jesus knew who touched Him. A bleeding woman. Woman na bleeding pa. Sa paningin ng panahon na yon, woman na ngayon nag-touch sa'yo, tapos bleeding woman pa, parang double crime. Jewish women were treated as some kind of second-class persons. This violation of human rights was institutionalized and perpetuated by the priests. Bleeding women were specially maltreated, making them shameful about their monthly period. Of course, this is characterized by ignorance, not knowing natural biological processes of the body. Up to very recently, menstruation was treated like a dreadful disease. Nung araw, pagka yung mga babae ay bibili nga ng mga pads, lihim pa yun. Ibubulong pa doon sa tindera at kailangan nakabalot pa sa supot o sa dyaryo. Ngayon nga, ina-advertise pa sa TV eh. So nagkaroon ng maraming luwag, no, para sa meron pang may wings, may mga feet, siguro merong mga kung ano-ano pa. Pero noon, inililihim. Until very recently, ang mga babae noon, pag may period, dahan-dahan lang silang nananahin ang kanilang mga kailangang gamitin sa dilim, sa sulok, na para bang may kahihiyan associated with it. Until very recently, ha? Then a bleeding woman, all of 12 years, touches Jesus. Can you imagine what it means? The large crowd was there but oblivious. Then, interestingly, Jesus makes it public. A very private transaction that happened between Jesus and the woman, without words, is now being made public. Jesus announces and asks, "Who touched my clothes?" Siyempre, lahat ng nasa paligid biglang titigil. Dahil bawat sinasabi ni Jesus, pinapansin. Who touched my clothes? Ano kaya ang goal niya? Papagalitan ba niya? Paparusahan ba niya? Hindi siyempre alam ng babae. Mark 5:31-32, His disciples said to Him, "Look at all these people crowding around you. How can you ask, who touched you?" But Jesus turned to see who had touched Him. Talagang lumingon ang Panginoon at tiningnan niya yung babaeng nilampasan na at nagtagpo ang kanilang mga mata and they knew what was going on. This was the woman who touched Him. The woman who received power from Him. The woman to whom the power that went out of Jesus went. Suddenly the world froze a moment to witness a very cinematic but a most cathartic revelation. A revelation which cleanses all menstruation. We should put more appreciation into this story because it changed forever our concept of menstruation. So who touched Jesus? Mark 5:33, the woman knew what had happened to her. She came shaking with fear and knelt down in front of Jesus. Then she told Him the whole story. Before one and all, the unclean woman comes out. She is bleeding, and that was also known as being unclean. How dare you, unclean woman, touch Jesus of Nazareth? But then, she touched another person, a man at that, and of all persons, Jesus pa. Clearly, she broke the law. But she is suffering terribly. She seeks the wellness and wholeness in Jesus. And she believes that by touching Jesus, she will get well. And now, Indeed, she is well. Everyone heard this. What was meant to be a stealthy, a quiet, secret, discreet operation became a very public event. Why the attention? Why the noise? Why the very public disclosure? Because Jesus dignifies women. And here, Jesus dignifies even menstruation. Jesus decriminalizes the body's natural biological processes. Jesus vulgarizes, He makes popular women's issues. Hindi na pag-uusapan lang behind closed doors, in hushed voices, in the dark, but it will be discussed in a very public forum before men and women. He brings them to the center of public attention. By doing so, He takes away the stigma. Inalis niya yung hiya, yung kahihiyan, nakakambal ng bleeding. By giving the issue time and space, a face and a name, in a very objective and kind attention to the issues and causes of women, which is what also Jesus has done to the issues and causes of other weak people, those who fall in the cracks, those who have been weakened and exploited by society. Yun ang pag-ibig ni Jesus. Madali naman sanang kampihan na lang ni Jesus yung mga priests. Baka siya mismo, bigyan nila ng ranggo. Madali naman sanang iparot mo na lang yung mga official lines ng temple para yung makapangyarihang mga tao ay hindi mo makabangga. Madali naman sana na doon ka na lang kumampi sa mga makapangyarihan at nang-aapi kaysa sa mga naaapi. Pero yun nga ang dahilan kaya si Jesus pumunta sa lupa. To love. To seek and save the lost. To care for those who have been marginalized by society. Those who have been suffering silently for thousands of years because they are oppressed by a very, very patriarchal system of society. So Jesus draws women out of the shadows into His light. Out of silent suffering into energetic healing. Out of marginalization into the center of community life. And if you're going to read the rest of the Gospels, Jesus was always surrounded by female leaders and followers who were going with Him all the way from Galilee even to Jerusalem. In fact, the women were the ones who never deserted Jesus up to His dying moment. Nandun sila lagi. Mark 5:34, Jesus said to the woman, "You are now well because of your faith. May God give you peace. You are healed and you will no longer be in pain." So the Lord honored and dignified the healing. It wasn't just going to be a secret healing and this woman might forever have some guilt about it, but the Lord brought the issue out in the open and declared blessing to this woman. Isang kompletong act of love. Which brings us to another point. Technically, Jesus breaks the law also. Kasi may law na hindi niya dapat hipuin o hindi niya dapat payagan siyang hipuin, pero in-affirm pa niya, in-approve niya, binigyan niya ng blessing. Kaya laging nalilig-galig ang religious institution kay Jesus. What to do with this Jesus who is forever setting aside the laws and the traditions to love His followers, making the priests look bad because they don't love that much. In fact, for them, what is important is to implement the laws and the rules. Kahit patayin ka pa, basta ma-implement. Now they are suffering by comparison. That's why they were listless. They were so bothered about the ministry of Jesus. And you really see at Jesus, He did not shame nor seek punishment for the law-breaking woman, but He let her get healed. So let's get to know Jesus more. To love, Jesus steps out and steps beyond the limits of religious law. What does that mean? It means a lot. Naiisang tabi niya ang mga kabusisian at mga detalye ng mga kaugalian at kautusan para ang mangibabaw ay pag-ibig, pagmamahal, pagpapagaling, pagbibigay ginhawa. Jesus does not use or obey religious law to reject, to diminish, to hurt people because of their gender or because of their health or illness. Hindi sinabi ni Lord na, sabi ng Leviticus, hindi mo ako dapat hinipo. Sabi ng Leviticus, dapat kang parusahan. Sabi niya, sige, magaling ka na. Nawa magkaroon ka ng kapayapaan. Hindi siya nagko-quote ng kung ano-ano mga verses para lalong pahirapan ang mahirap ng ang buhay ng babaeng ito. Hinayaan niya na ang kapangyarihan ay lumabas sa kanyang katawan, lumipat sa babae at siya ay gumaling. Followers of Jesus are not to reject, diminish, or hurt people because of their gender. Because they break religious laws and ceremonial law. Hindi tayo mga policemen ng langit. Hindi tayo mga paid armies. Tayo ay mga kapatiran na nagtutulungan, nagmamahalan, nag-aalalayan sa isa't isa. Hindi nagko-condemn to each other. Hindi naghahanap ng mali at hindi tatantarin ka ng mga verses pag may nakita na para mga balang ibinabaril sa iyo. Hindi yun na example ni Jesus. Kaya siya very, very controversial. At kaya siya very effective and powerful. Jesus does not place religious law above people's healing, wellness, or comfort. Also, not about people's dignity or feelings. Suyurin ninyo ang New Testament, lalo ang Gospels, at makikita niyong walang tinanggihan ng Panginoon. Dahil sabi ng verse na ganito, tatanggihan kita dapat. Dahil sabi ng ganito, tatanggihan kita. No, He accommodated them all. Nagpagaling pa nga siya kahit Sabat. Kasi sabi niya, kahit one day na lang at hindi na Sabat bukas, kailangan gumaling na siya. Ang tagal-tagal niya nagsasuffer. Maghihintay pa ng one day. Kahit namitas ng mga makakain yung mga alagad niya ng Sabat, sabi niya, nagugutom eh. Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Can you imagine one of the strongest institutions of Jewish civilization, the Sabbath, was being broken to be kind, to be good, to heal? Yun si Jesus na dapat nating kilalanin at sundan. And this Jesus respected the woman no matter her lowly estate at the time. Jesus wants people well. Gusto niya ang tao gumaling. Followers of Jesus should not make others unwell in the name of God, which could happen. Yung mga tao nga na hindi na may sakit, nagkakasakit pa sa puso, na-atake pa sa puso dahil sa ginagawa ng mga relihiyoso sa kanila. Now, Jesus gave a new command. Love, accept, receive people. Lalong-lalo pag nag-aaral-aral na ng mga tao tungkol sa Kapaskuhan, hindi naman yung moment of birth ang big thing eh. Ang big thing is why Jesus was born. What was His mission? His mission was to be the door through which people can enter the Father. Jesus was the one through whom we could experience the divine. And how does one experience the divine? First, as Jesus taught everyone, first by being fully human and humane. Bago ka mag-ambisyon na gumraduate sa pagiging human lamang at maging napaka-espiritual, dapat mo nang maging buong-buo at ganap na tao ka. Nagpapakatao, nakikipagkapwa-tao, at pagka ito'y nasagad mo na, doon ka palang aangat at makakarating sa susunod na level of spirituality. But you cannot short-circuit the system and you cannot make a shortcut by turning from an imperfect human to a spiritual entity. You first have to be human. That's why Jesus was human. Fully human. At anong ipinakita niya sa ibig sabihin ng pagiging tao? Yung nakikita natin sa kwentong ito at sa marami pang ibang kwento, na ang tao nagpapakatao at nakikipagkapwa-tao. Hindi niya ginagamit ang relihiyon para siya maging mabangis, para siya maging malupit. Ginagamit niya ito para pagkunan ng lakas, para maging mabuti, mabait sa kapwa-tao. So nagbigay siya ng bagong command dahil nakakalito na nga naman 10 commandments, 613 mitzvots, tas ang dami pa mga unwritten laws sa kanilang pamumuhay. John 13:34-35. But I am giving you a new command. You must love each other just as I have loved you. If you love each other, everyone will know that you are my disciples. So sabi ni Lord, kung nalilito na kayo, kalimutan nyo na lahat ng command. Eto na lang ang tandaan nyo, ha? At siguro naman matatandaan nyo na ito. Love one another. Paano pa yung utos ng ganitong chapter, ng ganitong verse? Magiging loving ka ba sa kapwa mo? Hindi po. Love is the greatest commandment. It is greater than that commandment. Magiging loving ka ba? Pagka naging ganyan ka, pinagpilitan mo yung mga regulasyones. Hindi po. Ano ba sinabi ni Jesus sa mahalaga? Di ba to be loving? So you set aside legalism. You set aside traditions in order to love. At sabi ni Jesus, pag maibigin na kayo, malalaman ng mundo na kayo nga ay aking mga tagasunod, mga alagad. Hindi kayo makikilala dahil sa galing ng inyong mga turo. Hindi kayo magkikilala dahil sa galing ng inyong mga kanta. Hindi kayo makikilala dahil kung anong sinusuot nyo, hindi sinusuot, kinakain at hindi kinakain, haba ng buhok o haba ng palda. Makikilala kayo kung kayo ay loving. Diba sa pag-i-implement na nga niyang palda na yan, nagiging unloving na? Sabi, loving dapat. Magsasasakay ka sa mga bus, mag-aakyat manaog ka sa mga tricycle, pipilitin ka pa magpalda pag magsisimba. Di ba mas convenient naman kung nakapants ka? Para hindi ka masilipan, para hindi sumasalipad pa yung saya mong sumabit sa mga dumadaang bus. Yan lang, napakalaking issue, haba ng buhok. Saan ilalagay ang hikaw? Sa tenga? Sa ilong? Sa pusod? Issue! Yun ang 10 Commandments at 613 mitzvahs isang tabi na Sabi niya, loving na lang. Yan ang tandaan nyo, love. Tapos yan, umiimbento na naman ng sari-saring mga batas na buong bagsik na ini-implement. Kaya dapat magsuri. Balikan si Jesus dahil sa kanya matututunan ng lahat ng ito. Sabi niya, makikilala kayo kung kayo maibigin. Yun ang gusto kong pagkakilanlan ng mga tao na kayo'y aking mga alagad. And Paul, in his great wisdom, echoes this. Sabi niya sa 1 Corinthians 13, 1-13, the greatest is love. Yun ang greatest. More than sign gifts, like speaking in tongues, which was highly valued at Corinth. More than prophecy, or the gift of teaching, highly valued in other churches. More than knowledge or sacrifice. More than understanding of God, which is that was dim. Sabi niya, our knowledge is imperfect, our prophecy is imperfect. We cannot pretend to know God. God knows us, but we don't know Him. It's just like looking at a dim mirror. We cannot really know. Greater than faith, greater than hope. Sabi niya, the greatest is love. Paul, the great disciple, says that. Jesus' love is the standard. Hindi mo sinusukat si Jesus sang-ayon sa mga katuruan ng nakaraan at katuruan after Jesus. Kundi lahat ng katuruan, lahat ng kautusan, susukatin mo kay Jesus. Dadalhin mo lahat ng Old Testament teachings, ang New Testament teachings, at yung post-New Testament teachings kay Jesus. At sinasabi mo, Lord, ano po ang masasabi ng inyong love sa teaching na ito? At sasabihin sa iyo ni Lord, uulitin niya, love is the greatest. You will be known for your love. All these teachings should be summed up in just one word, love. Kailan kaya natin ito lubos na maintindihan? At kailan natin maipapamuhay yung pag-ibig na ito? Kasi madaling pakinggan, madaling sabihin, madaling memoryahin, pero sa atin bang pakikitungo sa kapwa? Sa pakikitungo sa isa't isa, nandun na talaga yung love. At kung pipili ka between being unloving, cruel, and being loving, automatic na ba na bilang Kristiyano, pinipili mo to be loving? Kasi kung hindi pa natin naiintindihan o nakikilala si Jesus. Even Peter understands and obeys this. Sabi sa kanya ng tinig sa Acts 10, 9-35, arise, Peter, kill and eat. At sabi niya, Lord, I cannot eat an unclean thing. At sabi ng boses, don't call what I call clean unclean. Nagbago rin ang isip si Peter. Minahal niya si Cornelius. Pumunta siya sa bahay ng isang Gentile dahil sinabi ng tinig sa kanya, panahon na para mahalin kahit hindi Israelite. Turuan din sila. He broke the law. Peter broke the law by entering the house of Cornelius, a Gentile. But he set aside the law to obey a higher law, the law to love. May mga nagtatanong, namatay po yung lola ko, pero yung po mga pinsang ko, tsaka mga tita ko, iba pa yung religion nila eh. Ililibing. Papasok po ba ako sa simbahan nila? Yan, i-apply mo na. Is it loving not to enter? Maiiwan ka sa gate na parang papasok sila sa impyerno? Akala mo kung sinong kaya banal-banal na maiiwan ka doon sa labas dahil magiging makasalanan kapag pumasok. Nalulungkot sila, nag-iiyak ka, tapos makikita ka pa nagaganon-ganon, lalo mong dadagdagan ng hirap nila ng loob. Doon mo i-apply si Jesus. Loving ka ba? Love. Choose to love. Meron po akong matalik na kaibigan, ikakasal. Kaya lang yung religion niya, yung dati pa. Tapos yung kasal niya sa simbahan, kinukuha niya po akong maid of honor. Para pong ayoko dahil iba eh. Kaibigan mo, kakalimutan mo yung pagkakaibigan nyo, ikakasal siya, isang mahalagang moment. Is that loving o being legalistic? Doon nyo i-apply mga kapatid sa pang-araw-araw na buhay. Ang itatanong mo, ito ba yung maibigin? What would Jesus do? Kung siya ang nasa sitwasyon, hindi ba he ate with sinners? He ate with tax collectors? He was called a glutton and a drunkard by the priests? He did that to love. Hindi para makisama, kundi para makihalubilo. Para ang pag-ibig niya maramdaman ng mga tao. Pero yung mga nababorn again naman, kaunting-kaunting alam sa Bible, biglang mahigpit pa kay Matusalem. Mahigpit pa kay Paul. Kala mo kung sino kay linis na ayaw mabahiran ni isang tilamsik. Doon niya i-apply. Is it loving? So stop being just an audience and a witness. Stop being just a talking machine about Jesus. Do not just experience Jesus. Do not just feel Jesus. Do not just get touched by Jesus. Yan kasi ang mga tuwang-tuwa tayo. Alam nyo, feel na feel ko si Lord. Wow, ang ganda naman. Feel na feel ko siya sa retreat. Feel na feel ko ang touch niya doon sa message. Feel na feel ko ang love sa akin ni Jesus. Dapat naman gumraduate na tayo doon dahil talaga namang dapat nararamdaman yon. Ano yung ano ang dapat nating maramdaman ngayon? Do not just experience the love of Jesus, but experience loving others like Jesus loves. Stop just experiencing the touch of Jesus. You should now touch others by the power of Jesus. In other words, get down from religious high-rises and be reachable physically, psychologically, spiritually. Yung lalaking may ketong, hinipo ni Jesus. Tayong lahat may ketong, naramdaman na natin ang hipo ni Jesus. So you say, I feel Jesus' touch. Pero etong tanong, have you touched your leper already? May taong may leprosy and needs your touch. Have you touched that person? Have you healed the person with your words, with your forgiveness, with your acceptance? Kasi you have to touch your leper. You should not just be the leper being touched by Jesus. That's only a low level of spirituality. The higher level is do a Jesus, touch your leper. Then you say, I don't only feel being loved by Jesus, but now I feel loving like Jesus loves. And that is your entry to the divine, to the Father. That is your entry to a higher level of spirituality. That's why they say, in Jesus they saw the Father. Dahil naramdaman nila, hindi lang sa hipo ni Jesus, kundi sa pagsunod nila kay Jesus, humipo din sila ng iba, naramdaman nila yung divine spark that is available through Jesus. Experience the Jesus experience. Experience being like Jesus. Feel what Jesus feels. Do a Jesus. And let your bleeding woman touch you. Sino po ang bleeding woman nyo, mga kapatid? May isang tao, bleeding, suffering, pero talagang mahipo lang kayo, pahipo lang kayo, entertainin nyo lang, acceptan nyo lang, i-affirm nyo lang, gagaling. Tinitikis nyo ba? Kasi habang tinitikis nyo yan, you are not yet doing a Jesus. You must have received the love and forgiveness of Jesus, but have you already given this forgiveness to others? Kailangan kumpleto yung cycle. Hindi ka lang recipient, giver ka na rin. Hindi ka lang nag-i-inhale, nag-i-exhale ka na rin. Let the weak draw power from you. Yun ang do a Jesus. Lahat naman tayo may strength. Yung strength nyo ba, ginagawa nyo available for the weak ones to benefit from you? That is doing a Jesus. Hindi lang hingi ng hingi, nagbibigay. Hindi lang humihingi ng tawad, nagpapatawad. Hindi lang nire-restore ang relasyon mo sa Diyos, hinahayaan mo rin yung mga ibang makipag-restore ng relasyon sa iyo, lalo't nasira na ang relasyon nyo. Ang daming tao nanonood lang kay Jesus, pero hindi ginagawa ang example na ginagawa ni Jesus, kaya hindi talaga nararamdaman how it is to be a Christian. Nanonood lang. So minister up close and personal. Get out of and beyond your comfort zone to love and to heal. Be tangible. Bend and reach out to be touched by others. And let your unclean woman touch you if that would give her healing, whatever it means. Let your suffering, bleeding woman that some religious law forbids you to touch you. Like Jesus, allow others to set some religious laws aside to find comfort and rest. Huwag pag nandun kayo, pinapahirapan nyo ang loob ng kapwa, binabaril nyo ng mga verses. Use the verses to love, to affirm, to accept. And if you have to set them aside for a while, controversial as it may sound, that is what Jesus did. So pipili ka lang talaga kung sinong model mo, sinong susundin mo. Set some religious laws aside, if you must, to give comfort and rest. Matthew 11:28 to 29. If you are tired from carrying heavy burdens, come to me and I'll give you rest. Jesus says, take the yoke I give you, put it on your shoulders and learn from me. I am gentle and humble, and you will find rest. Pahinga. Kung kayo nalulunod, nasa ilalim kayo ng tubig, nasasakal, hindi ba't ang pinakamahalaga yung makalutang kayo at makahinga? At yun ang binibigay ni Lord, makahinga. Makapagpahinga. Sa pagod na pagod, gipit na gipit, sukol na sukol, di ba kailangan natin ng way out? Yun ang ibinibigay ni Jesus at yun ang dapat ibigay natin sa ating kapwa. Hindi yung sukol na sukol, gipit na ginigipit pa natin. Pinapahirapan pa natin lalo. We must give rest. The ministry of Jesus is to find rest. You cannot experience the Jesus experience if you remain selfishly and safely well within the religious boxes of the Pharisees. You've got to get out of those religious boxes. A believer of Jesus is a follower of Jesus. Those who believe in Jesus will do what Jesus does, go where Jesus goes, and touch whoever and whatever Jesus touches. John 13:35, if you love each other, everyone will know that you are my disciples. Galatians 2:20, Christ lives in me. And now I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave His life for me. So we must allow Christ to live in us. And we live by faith. Hindi naman ibig sabihin ng live by faith, walang plano. Live by faith, ibig sabihin, I believe in what Jesus says, what He does, and I will obey it. Even sometimes my faculties say otherwise. I will live by faith. Do not just experience the love of Jesus. Experience loving like Jesus does. Doon mo mararamdaman ng Diyos. Doon mo mararamdaman yung kabanalan. Doon mo mararamdaman yung Espiritu. Pag ikaw na mismo yung umiibig, nagpapatawad, nagbibigay, nagpapagaling. Dahil binigyan naman tayo ni Lord ng kakayahang gawin yon. Do not just receive Jesus as love. Give love like Jesus gives. Do not just get accepted by Jesus. Accept others like Jesus does. Sabi ng Psalm 34:8, taste and see that the Lord is good. So dapat ang ating mga kapwa-tao sa pamamagitan natin matikman, malasap, maranasan nila ang kabutihan ng Diyos. So step out of and beyond the limits of tradition to love. Napakahalaga mga kapatid. To be fully human and humane, let the full humanity of Jesus live in you. Let the full humanity of Jesus work through you. 1 John 2:6, whoever claims to live in Him must live as Jesus did. So stop just believing in Jesus. Not the method of how He was born, not the guest list, but why He had to be born. Be like Jesus. Be Christ-like. Let your bleeding woman touch you. Do not keep people at bay. Do not be distant to those who need you. Heal someone by being there. That is Jesusness. And finally, experience what being a follower of Jesus is all about. Being like Him. Salamat, Ama, sa mga paalala. At nawa makalampas kami doon sa panonood lang kay Jesus, sa paghanga, kundi maging tulad niya kami. Let Christ live in us so we can do His work. Feel what He felt. Walk where He walked so we can fully appreciate and behold You, O God, in heaven. Pagbulay-bulayan natin mga kapatid kung anong practical na kahulugan nito sa ating buhay so that the love of Jesus could be touched through you, through your life, through your ministry. Let's bow before the Lord and ponder these things a moment.